Hello fellow commuters, this is Road Review, and today we are at beautiful Bedle Place in Highlands, New Jersey, 07732. It's approximately about 4:15 in the afternoon as the sun's starting to go down over here. I want to give this road a pretty good rating overall. Just some basic points. There are approximately 4 legal, nice fitting parking spaces. There's a nice curvature to it. There are no storm drains, unfortunately, but there are no real flooding problems on this street that I can see, considering it rained yesterday. There is a significant puddle on the left side over here out of frame, and that's usually there after every single rain. We'll get to that later in more detail. But other than that, there's a single manhole, and there's a marina located behind me. It is currently empty though because of the winter months. So I guess I'm going to start out talking about the drainage, considering that there is a marina behind me, and that would be a pretty important point to know, especially during hurricane season. This road has no storm drains. It has a single manhole, which is actually pretty old by this town's standards. It is a little rusty, but there are no real divots caused by it. There's no depth. You won't notice when you drive over it, which I am greatly appreciative of. Other than the one puddle over here on the side, I don't really see the need for more than even a single storm drain on this road, which is surprising considering the location. Unfortunately, with storms though, water isn't our only concern. If you get a good shot behind me, you will actually see that there are sand deposits in various places around this road. Now, it's not really that big of a deal, but considering how well that these cuts are taken out of the sidewalk right here, it kind of lowers their quality a bit, which is unfortunate, considering that whoever did that job did it really well. Other than that, there were also pebbles strewn about quite a bit from the homeowners' driveways. Now, that's not a direct fault of the town, obviously, and it's not exactly their responsibility to clean it up. If anything, that falls on the homeowner. But I do think it is worth noting because it can be quite an inconvenience when you are walking down these sidewalks. I experienced it over there. Now, while we're on the topic of the sidewalks, I would like to compliment them though. They are painted very, very well. It is an extremely bright yellow, considering that this is a lesser traveled street. And if anything, the residents on this street would know not to park there. I really appreciate the extra effort that they put into it. Off of one of these beautifully painted corners is a fire hydrant, and is not directly located on this street, but rather on the one perpendicular to it. But I'm still going to include it because it is very convenient for these people. And on the same corner is the street sign. It is a very nice, readable street sign. It is actually missing a screw, unfortunately. I do have a complaint about it though, and that is that it does not show the street name of the perpendicular street. And I know that if you're on this street, chances are you're making an illegal U-turn or you live here, so you would know the street you were just on. But funny enough, while we were recording this, I was trying to use the other street in reference to describe our location, and I couldn't remember what it was. So I'm going to have to put that in the list of cons, just because I think it should be placed there for any pedestrian walking by for their convenience. Now, although the corners are very nice, I must get back to the point of the actual road itself. The ending does cut off very abruptly, or almost not abruptly if you'd rather prefer that, because instead of having an actual curb at the end or a solid straight line, the pavement kind of spills over onto the sand of the property of the marina. And now this wouldn't be much of a big deal, but because if you're unloading your truck there or hopping onto your boat, I could see it becoming a tripping hazard or becoming inconvenient for those sort of purposes, so I'm going to make a note of that. Now, while I'm going to criticize the ending of the road, I want to make a point that the road itself is in fantastic condition. Granted, it is not driven as much as the other ones, but I would also expect it to not get as much care as the other more driven roads. And I am very, very impressed. As I mentioned earlier, the curve is almost not noticeable because it is so comfortable. And unlike the other two-way roads around here, and as most of these roads in this town are, it is actually wide enough to park on both sides and fit 2 cars going in the same direction, which is just incredible. Even when we set up our tripod over here and me standing here, I can have a car drive on either side of me and it would not be an inconvenience in the slightest. And I cannot say that for just about any other road other than the main ones in this town. Now, while that covers basically all the actual points, I am going to give this road a little bonus because on the corner I mentioned earlier with the street sign, there are cat prints in the sidewalk, and you don't see that too often, and it's always a nice treat to notice as a pedestrian. So that's getting an extra 1/10 of a point bonus. For an overall rating, as I mentioned at the beginning, I wanted to give it a good rating from the start. Assuming a 5 is an average, I'm going to give this road a 7.7. And I am very happy to say that as our first review. This has been Road Review at Bedle Place in Highlands, New Jersey, 07732. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, remove all snow and ice from your vehicle before driving. Have a nice day.